He cheated on her honeymoon night, but that wasn't her breaking point. Emma had always believed in fairy tales. From the moment she met Jacob, she felt like her story had finally begun. He was charming, thoughtful, and full of grand gestures. After 2 years of dating, he proposed in front of her family on Christmas Eve. She cried tears of joy. Everyone said they were perfect together. Their wedding day was magical. The ceremony took place at a vineyard surrounded by candlelight and soft music. Emma wore the dress of her dreams, and Jacob promised her forever. As they danced their first dance, she whispered, "I feel like the luckiest woman alive." Their honeymoon was planned for a luxury resort in the Maldives. Emma couldn't wait to begin their new life together. She packed with care, full of excitement and love. The plane ride was filled with laughter, and they held hands like teenagers in love. When they arrived at the resort, everything seemed perfect. The beach sparkled, the staff welcomed them warmly, and their suite had rose petals on the bed. That night they had dinner under the stars, sharing wine and kisses. Emma thought her dreams had come true. Back in the room, Emma went to shower while Jacob stayed behind. She hummed happily, thinking of their future. She stepped out wearing her robe, ready to curl into his arms and talk about the next day's plans. But Jacob was gone. At first, Emma thought he had gone to the front desk or for a walk. She waited on the balcony, sipping water, the breeze brushing her hair. 15 minutes passed, then 30. Her excitement slowly turned into unease. She slipped on sandals and left the suite. The resort was quiet. Then she heard laughter coming from the room next door. Something about the sound made her stomach twist. She moved closer. She stopped outside the door when she heard Jacob's voice, and then a woman's laugh. Emma's heart raced. She leaned her ear to the door. The voices were intimate, playful, unmistakable. She stepped back, disbelief washing over her. Her hands trembled. Her world spun. When the door finally opened, there he was, Jacob with another woman in his arms, laughing like nothing mattered. Jacob froze. The woman gasped. Emma's face was pale, but she said nothing. She turned and walked away, her feet numb, her chest tight with betrayal. She didn't cry that night. She just stared at the ceiling, unable to process what had just happened. Emma booked another room that night. She said nothing to the resort staff. She didn't message her friends. She simply sat in silence, staring at the wedding ring on her hand. The next morning, Jacob was knocking on her door. He looked broken, full of apologies. "I messed up," he whispered. "It meant nothing. I drank too much. I don't know why I did it." Emma didn't open the door. She didn't reply. She stared at the floor and listened to his voice. When he left, she pulled the curtains closed and crawled into bed. She returned home the following day, alone. She told no one the truth. Not yet. Her parents asked, "Is everything okay?" She nodded and smiled, hiding the storm inside. She went back to work. She answered questions about the honeymoon with vague smiles. She wore long sleeves and kept to herself. But at night, she couldn't sleep. The betrayal replayed over and over. She had been loyal, loving, true, and still he had thrown it all away. Emma didn't file for divorce right away. She needed time. She joined a support group. She found a therapist. She began running in the mornings, trying to shake off the heaviness. Jacob kept reaching out. He sent flowers, wrote letters, and left gifts on her doorstep. But Emma stayed quiet. She didn't trust words anymore. She wanted action and truth. One evening, Jacob showed up outside her building. He knelt down in the rain, holding her wedding photo. "Please, Emma, let me fix this. I love you. Don't throw us away." Emma opened the door slightly and looked him in the eyes. "You didn't break us on the honeymoon. You broke us the moment you chose her over me." She shut the door and locked it. But that still wasn't her breaking point. She was holding on, not to him, but to strength she hadn't known she had. She began journaling every thought, every dream, every scar, and slowly she began to heal. 3 months later, Emma received a message from a woman named Tanya. She said she needed to talk. Emma almost ignored it until she read the words, "I've been seeing Jacob for over a year, even before your wedding." Emma's chest tightened. Tanya sent screenshots, photos, and messages. There were dates, holidays, and moments that overlapped with Emma's happiest memories. She had been deceived long before the honeymoon night. This was no accident. It was a pattern, a web of lies, a double life. Emma printed everything. She sat in the living room for hours, tears falling freely this time. She wasn't heartbroken. She was furious and ready. That night, she told her family everything. They sat in silence, shocked and hurt. But when they looked at her, they saw something different. Not weakness, but fire. Emma filed for divorce the next day. She included every message, every photo, and every lie. She didn't yell. She didn't post online. She simply told the truth. The news spread fast. Friends cut Jacob off. His company asked questions. His charm no longer worked. He lost respect, relationships, and credibility. Emma started over. She redecorated her apartment, launched a small business, and began writing her story. She wrote for other women, those who had been hurt, silenced, or betrayed. 1 year later, she published her first book, The Bride Who Stayed Silent. It became a bestseller. Thousands of women wrote to her saying, "You told my story." Emma never spoke to Jacob again. She didn't need closure from him. She had found it in herself. Because yes, he cheated on her honeymoon night. But that wasn't her breaking point. That was her rebirth.